So you hear these terms thrown around all the time, right? AI, machine learning, deep learning. But what is the actual difference? And, what does any of it have to do with the brain sitting in your head? Well, let's break it all down.
You've probably wondered this yourself. When you ask a tool like ChatGPT a question and it spits out this perfect, human-sounding answer, it kind of feels like magic. But is it actually thinking? Is it intelligent? Or is it doing something else entirely?
Stick with me for just the next few minutes, and I promise you'll not only get the difference between all these buzzwords, but you'll actually be able to explain it to your friends, for real.
Okay, so let's dive right into this, starting with the biggest, most important idea of them all, artificial intelligence. Think of AI as the big umbrella concept. It's this age-old dream of making machines smart. And it covers everything from a simple calculator all the way to the most futuristic robots you can possibly imagine.
To make this super clear, let's picture it. Imagine artificial intelligence is this one giant circle. It is the entire world of smart machines. Everything else we're going to talk about today is going to fit right inside this circle. And here's the crazy part. You use AI every single day. When you ask Siri about the weather, yep, that's AI. When Google Maps reroutes you around a traffic jam like a genius, that's AI. And those handy little smart reply buttons in your email, you guessed it, that's AI too.
Okay, so how do we actually make machines smart? Well, let's move on to the next level down and see how machine learning fits into all this.
So here's our next layer. See, machine learning isn't some totally separate thing from AI. It's a specific way of doing AI. So picture it as a smaller but very important circle inside our big AI universe.
Now, this is the key difference, so listen up. Instead of a programmer writing thousands of lines of code for every possible situation, like if you see this, then do that, machine learning lets the computer figure out the rules all on its own, just by analyzing huge amounts of data.
Think of it just like a student in school, right? You don't memorize every single math problem that could ever exist. Instead, you learn the method by studying lots and lots of examples. Then, when you see a brand new problem on a test, you know how to solve it. Machine learning is exactly the same. It learns from data, gets tested on new stuff, and gets better and better the more data it sees.
And where do we see this? Oh, it's everywhere. When Netflix just knows what show you want to binge next, that's machine learning. It's not following a simple rule. It's finding these incredibly complex patterns in what millions of us watch. It's the same thing with your spam filter or those fraud alerts you get from your bank. They learn what normal looks like, so they can spot something that looks a little weird.
But what about the really complicated stuff, like a computer understanding a photo or generating text that sounds just like a person? Well, for that, we have to go even deeper. And here we go, our final circle, nestled right inside machine learning. This is deep learning. It's basically a specialized, supercharged version of machine learning that has powered this whole incredible AI revolution we're seeing right now. The key word here is deep. Deep learning models process information through many layers, and each layer learns something a little bit more complex than the last one, building up its understanding piece by piece by piece. So to see how this works, let's say we're trying to teach it to recognize a cat in a photo. The very first layer might only see basic stuff, like lines and colors. The next layer takes those lines and combines them into simple shapes, like maybe an ear or a whisker. The layer after that assembles those shapes into a cat's face. And finally, the top layer puts it all together and goes, yep, that's a cat. It builds up complex ideas from really simple little pieces. This whole layered thing, it kind of sounds like a brain, doesn't it? Well, that is not a coincidence at all. So how does it actually build this incredible structure?
The answer is artificial neural networks. This is the underlying tech that makes deep learning even possible. These systems are literally inspired by the interconnected neurons that are firing away in our own brains. So when a neural network has tons and tons of these layers, we call it a deep neural network. And that's exactly where the name deep learning comes from.
So we have AI, machine learning, and deep learning. They're all amazing at doing very specific tasks. But what about an AI that could do, well, anything a human could? That brings us to our last concept, the future. This is what we call artificial general intelligence, or AGI for short. This is the sci-fi dream of an AI that isn't just a fancy tool, but a true thinking entity with the same kind of flexibility and general knowledge as a human. And I gotta be super clear, just like the slide says, this is still theoretical. We are not there yet. So the AI we have today is called narrow AI. It can be a grandmaster at chess or an expert at driving a car, but it can't do both. An AGI, on the other hand, could learn to play chess, then decide to write a symphony about its winning move, and then go learn how to cook a perfect omelet. It's all about that general purpose learning. That's the difference.
All right, that was a lot to take in, I know. So let's do a super fast recap to make sure it all sticks in your brain. Here is your official AI cheat sheet.
So let's run through it. AI, that's the big goal of making machines smart. Machine learning, that's how they learn, from data. Deep learning, that's a superpowered type of learning that uses deep, brain-like layers. And what are those layers made of? Neural networks, the brain structure. And finally, AGI. That's the ultimate, futuristic goal of an AI that can think just like us. You got it?
And that's it. Now you can confidently talk about the differences between all these key AI concepts. If you found this explainer helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Now I want to hear from you down in the comments. What AI term should we break down next? Let me know if you want GPT, LLM, or RAG. Thanks for watching.